Golden rules for building a business that you will love. Building a business is one thing, but building a business that you're actually really going to love running is a whole other thing altogether. So in this episode, we're going to talk about some of those golden rules, and I'm going to share with you my golden rules, the things that I wish somebody had told me, because building a business that you're going to really love when you get there takes clarity, focus, and trust. See, as women business owners, we generally have one thing in common, and that is that we don't just want a business that's successful, that makes lots of money. We want a business we love, that ticks all of the boxes, that helps us feel fulfilled, where we can work with the kind of people we love working with, where we get to create the lifestyle we want to be able to create, that works around our family, our loved ones, and where we generate the level of income that we want to generate. So achieving all of that takes a lot more than just traditional kind of really masculine approach to business and success and, maximizing profit. And that's why in my Magnetic Money program, yes, it's called Magnetic Money. And yes, it's for women, business owners and entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurially minded women who want to create as much abundance in their lives as possible. But the thing is, we don't really focus on money so much. Yeah, we do focus on money, but what we focus on most of all is abundance, really creating an abundant state. And that is about a lot more than just money. Although I will be totally honest and upfront, the money is a very important part of it. But we want the money and the other stuff. So that's what this episode is all about. So a quick welcome to my channel. I'm Miriam, and this channel exists to help you as an entrepreneurial woman or a woman business owner, to help you create as much abundance as possible, both as an internal state and externally, like money in the bank. It's about having both, because you absolutely can. And that's what we're here to help you do. So if you enjoy this video and this type of content, please let me know. Give me a hit on the like button, hit subscribe, and click the notification bell while you're at it, because that will help you maximize your chances of seeing more episodes like this. So one thing that's pretty much guaranteed in business is that you're going to pivot. And sometimes you're going to pivot a lot. It's almost like entrepreneurial ballet. You're just spinning, spinning, spinning on the spot, going this way, that way, changing this, changing that. And there's definitely an unhealthy amount of that. That's just about distraction and, keeping yourself stuck. And then there's a necessary amount of that, because you have to be willing to say, this isn't working. This isn't taking me where I want to go. And I'm going to need to pull back and make some changes. And this happened to me in a major way a few years ago in my business, where I was making multiple six figures, but my business wasn't going in the direction that I ultimately long-term wanted it to go in. It all looked really good on paper, and the things that I was doing looked like a lot of fun and really great, like going to Bali 3 times a year to run retreats and so on. But the truth is, it was draining me. It was really draining me. I was giving too much of my energy out, and I'm an introvert, and I wasn't getting enough just chill downtime of just, kind of doing the steady things that keep the wheels of business turning, which to me is really important. And I was still working way more hours than I wanted to be working, and a lot of it, giving out energy. So it really wasn't working. And I got to the stage where I realized that, number one, it wasn't working, and also that it wasn't worth the money. And so I had to really pull back and make some very drastic and quite scary changes. I called it pruning the rose bush, where I literally just went hack, 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 cutting off all this stuff, all these branches that had grown in all these different directions, just blossoming, sprouting. But I was struggling to keep up with them all, and they were draining me and they were diluting my focus. And so I pruned the rose bush right back to the essential core of what I wanted it to be. And, along with that pruning, I pruned my income really, really significantly. So it took a lot of guts. It took a lot of, faith and surrender to go through that process. And it was very sobering to kind of go back to, okay, where can we cut some fat? Where can we trim some corners in, trim some expenses and so on in the business? and, you know, kind of take it right back down to a much lower level of cash flow. And that was actually a really cool exercise to go through, to be honest, because like anyone else, over time, things just kind of added up and suddenly there was money going out where it didn't need to be going out, and, you know, spending money on things that I didn't really get my return on investment for. So there was a lot of good in it, but most importantly, it was about pruning the rose bush and getting back to what kind of business do I actually want to create here. And so in this episode, I'm going to kind of, you know, share what I learned and give you those golden rules that I wish somebody had sat me down and said, look, just these things, please keep these things in mind. And chances are you won't get way down the track, realize that you're heading in the wrong direction, that you're boxing yourself into a corner and then having to make something, you know, having to make a really super drastic change like I did, where I literally, you know, cut my multiple six-figure income back to just hovering on that six-figure mark and having to rebuild from there. So let's get into them. The golden rules that I wish somebody had shared with me to make sure that I was building a business that, yes, number one, gave me the level of income I wanted, but also gave me the lifestyle and, you know, everything else around it that I really, really wanted. It would have saved me so much time and energy. So the very first golden rule is that even if you can afford not to, I highly recommend that you start your business on a shoestring budget, that you pretend you have no money when you start your business as much as possible. Because the truth is, you don't even need a website these days to start an online business. You can do it with a Facebook page and an Instagram account and a free YouTube channel. You don't need a website. You know, I remember when I first started my business, even this business and the finance business before it, where we spent so much money on business cards and marketing material and, you know, all sorts of things that were like really, you know, tangible products and marketing materials. And these days, you know, people maybe don't spend so much money on that sort of stuff anymore. I literally do not have business cards, don't need them. But people will spend a whole lot of money getting a website up and running, getting their logos and their branding done, when the truth is really that in the beginning, you don't really know exactly where your business is going yet. And you're really just an infant having to learn to crawl and then walk, and then you're going to run, and then one day you'll be in the Olympics, right? But if you try to work it all out and spend a whole lot of money from the very beginning, chances are you're going to have wasted all of that money and have to do it over again several times over. And the truth is that often that's just a bit of a perfectionism coming through, and also a mindset issue where you feel like, you know, until I have everything looking perfect and I have the illusion of knowing what I'm doing, because I'm afraid that I don't really know what I'm doing, I need the illusion of it at least to give me enough courage to step forward and offer my services. So it's not really about needing that stuff. It's actually about, you know, getting really grounded and trusting within yourself and your abilities and getting past those mindset hurdles and going, you know what? No, I don't have a website. No, I don't have a business card. Follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, or I have a YouTube channel or whatever it is, or just talk to me. I am fantastic at what I do and I have complete and utter faith in it. And you need to spend pretty much next to no money to get a business started these days, even an online business. So that's the first one. Do everything on a shoestring budget. Now, what I will just add to that as well is that if you've spent a whole lot of money on branding, on a website, on all of these things, chances are you're going to stick with it way longer than you want to, even if you realize it's the wrong path for you because you've spent the money. So the money that you've spent will kind of keep you locked in. So number one, you can't spend your way to instant success. And number two, if you invest huge amounts of money in things that turn out to not really be what you need long-term anyway, chances are you'll stay there longer than you need to. It's like a bad marriage. And I don't know about you, but I've been there, right? You stay in it longer than you need to for all the wrong reasons. So we don't want that for you. Okay, the next golden rule for building a business you're actually going to love, it's going to sound like it's more about, you know, sort of the masculine side of business success, but hear me out. It is to test and measure everything and take a scientific approach to how you review things. Because here's the thing. Again, mindset plays a huge part in all of this, right? And often we will think that it's the things that feel like hard work that we have to keep doing because they're where the success is going to come from. That comes from a belief of you've got to work hard for money and to deserve it and all the rest of it. But often that's not really the case. And it's actually the things that are really easy that get the results, because you're in flow, you're in alignment. That's your natural state. And that's where you're meant to be operating. And it's very easy for our kind of limited thinking to negate all of that and go, yeah, that's easy. I've got to keep working on this. And so you might be spending all your time and energy working really hard on something. When you look at the statistics and your actual numbers, you'll realize that that thing over here, which feels like it's just a little bit of play and I hardly spend any time on it, that actually gets amazing results. I'll give you an example. I have a quiz on my website that helps you determine your money habit archetype. And to me, it's like, oh, it's just a quiz, you know, whatever. But it's a really powerful thing for people to recognize what their habit patterns around money are and where they're coming from. And when I actually looked at all my freebies or my opt-ins, I realized that that had the highest conversion rate. And I wasn't promoting it very well, and I didn't really have it built into my funnels and, you know, explaining to people how that was a perfect introduction to the deeper work that they can do with me. I wasn't really focusing on getting any of that properly sorted because I was like, yeah, it's just a fun little quiz, you know, it's too easy. And when I looked at the statistics, when I looked at my Google Analytics, I was floored because it was at least double as powerful and as converting high, at least, I'll say that in English, Miriam. So it was converting at least double the rate of the next opt-in on the list, which is massive, right? So the reason you want to look at your actual analytics and statistics is so that you don't lead yourself down a garden path, assuming that it has to be a whole lot harder than it really needs to be. So just kind of on that train of thought, the other golden rule I would give you is that easy is good. You want to follow the easy route and really explore that, because easy means that you're in flow, that it's your zone of genius, that it's the stuff where you're in alignment, where things just fall into place and it just happens for you. And again, it's a mindset issue, right? When we decide to pursue the hard path instead. So I'll give you a great example. A lady joined Magnetic Money recently. Actually, I will link her below. Her name is Nova Rose, and she is a fantastic EFT practitioner for children. And she specifically works with, I think she works with pretty much all children, but she specifically focuses on helping children who are on the spectrum, who have ASD. So when she first joined Magnetic Money, we jumped on a call, because that's what we do in Magnetic Money. When you first join the program, you and I actually do a face-to-face call, or Zoom to Zoom call, right? And catch up so I can find out a little bit about you, welcome you to the program, get you off to a great start. And so we were on this call having a chat, and I said, tell me about your business. And she said, well, I've kind of got two arms to my business, two sort of different things that I'm doing. And one was more, anyway, it was different, because I'll say it wrong anyway, I can't remember now. And she was working really hard at it. And she'd been, you know, working with a business coach and like really trying to make it work. And she said, and then, you know, I do this EFT tapping for children, and that just comes to me, you know, people just ask me for help, ask me to run little workshops, ask me to then maybe work one-on-one with them. And, you know, I've got people approaching me all the time saying, hey, I've got the people, I've got the premises, come in and run a workshop. And I went, why aren't you pursuing that? You know, number one, I've never heard anyone focusing on EFT tapping for children, let alone children who are have ASD. And, you know, and it's just coming to you, like, why are you hitting your head against the wall trying to get this other thing up and running when this is all laid out in front of you? And she kind of went, oh shit. She couldn't even see it, you know, because it was like, this is what we tend to do. We tend to dismiss the easy because we go, well, that's too easy. It's too easy. How can it be that easy? Well, it should be that easy. It's meant to be that easy, right? So where are you making it hard for yourself? Where are you ignoring the easy? Easy is good. So what about you? Where have you been maybe stuck, trying to do it the hard way? Where have you been insisting on doing things the hard way when there's possibly a much easier way right under your nose. Let me know in the comments below. And the next golden rule I want to share with you for building a business you're actually really going to love is to do it your way, because there is no formula for you. Every expert and business strategist out there is spruiking and teaching and selling their system that works for them. Literally, most of them will, it kind of goes like this. Come into my funnel, let me sell you something where I'm going to teach you how to bring people into a funnel and sell them something like I just sold you the thing where I show you how I just sold you the thing about selling the thing. And it kind of becomes this weird revolving door. You're like, this is odd. But the point is that they're teaching you and they're selling you and they're getting you to do what works for them, what is in alignment for them, what helped them build their 7-8 figure business. And that's awesome. But it may not work for you. It might not be in alignment and be the right thing for you. So you're allowed to do things your way. You're allowed to invent your way of incredible business success. And, you know, then you can teach it to other people who it might also be in alignment for, or just use it for yourself. But trust your instincts and don't believe the gurus just because it's worked for them, because there is no formula for you. Oh, this next one's a good one. So this next golden rule for building a business you're actually going to love is to make your business pay for growth as you go. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about, you know, those things we invest in our business. Make your business pay for it. Don't just throw your personal money into your business to pay for the next website, to pay for the branding upgrade or whatever it is, or expanding your team. Yes, there may be times where, you know, you need a big cash injection to grow your business, and maybe you can look at lending your business some money if that's really, really appropriate. But even better, make your business pay for the growth. If that means delaying it a little bit and saving, use that time wisely to track some data, to track some statistics and make sure that the way you're going, where you're going to invest all that money is actually the best direction you can possibly be heading in right here, right now. So by making your business pay for growth as you go, what that actually allows you to do is just slow down a little bit, right? It allows you to slow down a little bit and gives you time to catch up on, is this really what I want to do? Does this really feel in alignment? Did I just get carried away and excited because, you know, I was on a seminar or I was, you know, on a workshop or in a group of people where they were all excitedly talking about this and I just got, you know, swept up in the moment, but maybe this is not really the way to go? Or did I just, you know, agree to do this thing because I like that person? I didn't want to say no to them. Whatever it is, it gives you some time and it makes sure that at the end of the day, whatever you decide to go forward and invest in terms of business growth, at least your business has generated the income to be able to pay for it. And so just by slowing that process down a little bit, you're going to feel a whole lot better about the direction you're heading in and that your business is actually able to sustain and pay for this growth. And like I said, it gives you that little bit of breathing space for everything to just settle down and for you to really feel into, is this actually the right thing for myself and my business right here, right now? Okay, I'm going to give you one more and then I'm going to give you a really important bonus one that I only just thought of as I was recording and I was like, how could I forget? Because it's so critical. But before we go there, let's cover this one. And that is that you want to focus on one thing at a time and make sure you really believe in it. Because often we will spread ourselves so thin trying to do all the things at once because we're not quite sure which one will work or which one is ultimately going to be the right one. And so we spread ourselves really thin. And so we're just madly trying to keep up with all of these different things. And what that means is that we get out of alignment, we get frazzled, we get caught up in stress, and, you know, we don't actually have the time to really ground ourselves in, actually, this is the thing I'm going to focus on right now, and I'm going to give it all my energy, and I'm going to make sure I'm really in alignment with it and put out into the world something that I'm really proud of and I really stand behind. So if you go, no, one thing at a time, I'm just going to create one program and get really good at marketing it, at talking about it, and at delivering it, and I'm going to master that. Or one main form of organic marketing, whether it's Facebook or YouTube or whatever it is, one thing, and I'm going to get really good at it, make sure that what I'm putting out there I'm really proud of, and give myself time and space to really stand behind my decisions and let them kind of, get some traction and then gather momentum. So one thing at a time, and really stand behind it, because often the reason that we do lots of things at once is because, we're not sure and we don't really believe in any of them. So we're just kind of flinging spaghetti at the wall, hoping that something will suddenly work and drag us along with it. But it actually works the opposite way. You need to put your focused, congruent energy behind something and go for it. And there are a million different strategies and things you can do. And there is no right or wrong. There is just the one that you choose to go with, and then put all your love and energy and focus on. So one thing at a time, and make sure you really believe in it and stand by it. Now, I'm going to share that really important bonus golden rule for creating a business you are absolutely going to love, which turns out I now believe is actually possibly the most important one, or at least a very critical one. I'll share that with you in a second. But before then, I just want to say that, all of these things I've talked about, they're pretty simple and they're pretty obvious, but often we don't do them. And the reason we don't do them is because of old programming, patterns of belief, limiting beliefs, lack of self-belief, self-worth, and thinking that, no, we need to work a whole lot harder. We're not qualified enough. We need another piece of paper, another qualification, a better website, this, that, the other, before we're allowed to have what we ultimately want. And so, that's important to address that. So here's a couple of ways I can help you start to dig into that. Number one, I have a limiting belief busting toolkit that you can access and take yourself through. And it is actually a really incredibly powerful method that I've developed based on hypnosis and NLP concepts. And it kind of mirrors a lot of the things I will do in a one-on-one session with people, but it takes you through it on your own, and you can repeat it any time. And there are hypnotic audios, meditations along with it to really help you wire in some new thinking as you release the old limiting beliefs and patterns. So that limiting belief busting toolkit is available for you to access. And what I love about it the most is that you learn how to take yourself through the process with the tutorial that comes with it and the practical example, and then you get to use it anytime. And so it's a really great, first stop for you to go, well, let me just take myself through this process because I'm feeling like there's some stuff going on that's keeping me stuck. And, then you can decide, do I really need to have a practitioner session? And most of the time you won't. So it's going to save you so much money and time and help you keep moving forward faster in the long run. So I'll link that in the description below. And the other thing you might want to check out is the free Money Habit Archetype quiz, which I mentioned earlier. And that helps you figure out what your habit pattern is around money, your predominant habit pattern, and then dive a little bit deeper into what's created that. And, so you might want to actually start there, take the Money Habit Archetype quiz, work out what is my money habit archetype, what is my predominant pattern around money, where's that coming from, what are some of the maybe unhealthy belief systems and old stories that are driving that. And then you can jump into the limiting belief busting toolkit, grab yourself that and use it to release those old limiting beliefs so that that pattern is no longer working against you and instead can start working for you. So the links to both of those will be in the description box below. Whether you're on your phone or your desktop computer, you'll see the description box below the video. Usually you have to click a down arrow and then it'll say see more, because you'll just see the first 2 lines of the description. And then when you click see more, it shows you the whole description with all the links and all the wonderful bits and pieces. So I'm about to share with you the bonus golden rule for building a business you really love. And this is really, really important to embrace from the very beginning, because a lot of people will throw themselves into building a business, work 7 days a week, so that down the track, they can have this lovely, mainly hands-off business where they're just working, 10 hours a week. And it doesn't work like that. The business you're building now is the business you're going to have. So if you are now building a business from a place of working long hours, making it hard, making it stressful, your business that you're building will be that way, ongoing, because you're training your business and you're training yourself. So work it and engineer it backwards. What kind of end result do I want to have? How many hours a week do I want to work? What do I want to spend those hours doing? Do I want to spend them client facing, or do I want to spend them on my marketing, because I really love that? Do I want to create programs that people can help themselves to? Do I want to do live coaching, group coaching? What do I want to spend my time on? How many hours do I want to spend all up? And what do I want those hours to consist of and break down into? And then build the business along those lines, like employ those actual parameters and those boundaries as you build your business. So if you say, listen, I don't ever want to spend more than 3 hours a week on my admin, then set that up from the beginning. Get automated systems and backup support in place so that you do not have to spend more time than that. And yes, in the beginning, because we're shoestringing, which we talked about, maybe you will do a little bit more of the grunt work yourself. That's okay, but keep it in mind that this is, until you get to a certain point, and then that's it. You're shaving off those extra 5 hours a week and giving them to somebody else and taking yourself back down to what you ultimately want, because it's a major trap that people get themselves into, where they just keep working way too hard and doing all the things they don't actually want to be doing long term, and it never, ever ends. So the business you're building now is the business you're going to have. Keep that in mind and make sure that the business that you're building now is already the business you love. So did you enjoy this video? Did you learn something? I hope you did, because we covered a lot of stuff. So those are my golden rules for building a business you're actually going to love. If I could go back, have it all over again, I'd have somebody sit down and tell me all those things. So if you got some value out of this video, let me know in the comments below. What did you learn? What did you love? What are you going to take away from this and action? And I would love you to hit the like button to let me know that you like this video. Otherwise, I don't know. And YouTube won't know, and it won't know to show you more videos like this. So hit the like button, click subscribe, share it with any friends who would enjoy this content. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next one. I'm going to pop a couple up here for you, which will link on to what we've been talking about, and see you over there, because it's time for you to create more abundance, both as an internal state of being and as money in the bank. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.